here with us at
no
this
problem. Okay,
dinner. We have very important guests. We thank you. We thank you, all of you, for being here with us, especially Silvia Encinas, our expert lawyer, that she's going to be talking about how you can buy property in Baja, how can a non-Mexican, an American, or a Canadian can buy property in Baja. So we'll be talking with Silvia. Thank you for being here, Silvia.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And also Mr. Craig Nelson, who is one of the best golfers in Baja. He's been living in Baja for the past 12 years, and he's going to share with us his experience of being a gringo in beautiful Baja Coast. Thank you, Craig, for being with us.
Glad to be here.
And also we have Mauricio Bustamante, who's a leading agent, broker, real estate broker that has been selling properties and developments in Baja for the past 15 years. 15, not 15, 15. He's a young guy. Thank you, Mauricio, for being with us.
not that old. Oh,
okay,
you're welcome.
Glad
to showcase a little bit of Baja.
I know you'll tell us about the opportunities there in Baja. So let's start with the ladies, and we're very pleased to have Silvia. Silvia has been doing fideicomisos, trust, how we call them, for a lot of years. She works with a lot of mortgage companies. She's really an expert on the field on how to purchase a property in Baja. So Silvia, tell us, how can an American, a gringo, Canadian buy a property in Baja?
Sure. Let me start by saying that is a question that it's always, has been in any foreigner's mind. Like, how can I own a property in Mexico? I hear that you can't. I hear that you can only lease it. Well, all those rumors are just that, rumors. You can be the owner of the property in Mexico as a foreigner. Of course, you required to have a fideicomiso, which is a bank trust. The fideicomiso is pretty much as a living trust in the US and in Canada. Any foreigner can create a bank trust and be the owner of the property. And the way the fideicomiso or bank trust works is this way. The property will be under a trust. That trust is your trust. But who creates that bank trust is the fiduciary bank. They are regulated by the government, and they need to acquire a permit in order for you to create that trust with them. So basically, the property is deeded to the trust, and you are the primary beneficiary of the trust. And you will have you'll have the control of that trust, meaning that the fiduciary bank will only be able to do something with the property under your instructions. For example, if you want to cancel the trust, if you want to assign the rights to that trust to another foreigner, or if you want to extend the years in that trust, which is 50 years. Let's say that you get to the term of the 50 years, you can ask for an extension, and you'll have the trust for another 50 years, and so on. So it keeps going. In case you make it to the 100 years, then you can extend it for another 50 years. Or if you don't make it, you are allowed to assign beneficiaries in second place. And that's one of the advantages of the bank trust. There is a clause for beneficiaries, and you appoint those that are going to take over after you're gone of the trust. So they will be recognized as the beneficiaries of the bank, and they will move into the first position of the trust. So basically,
it's kind of simple to do it. The trust.
The trust it's a simple process. The only thing is that there are many requirements, and now Mexico has change a few requirements, or the law that governs the banks are very firm, and in the way that they protect the bank for any laundering money. So they need to request a lot of documents from you, the buyer, in order to make it safe for everybody. So owning a property through the bank trust is the most secure way of owning a property. And all foreigners, because of our constitution, we know that all foreigners are or must have a trust in the restricted zone, which is 100 kilometers from the border, and it's 50 kilometers from the coast. So basically, the whole Baja California and Baja California South, they are required to, there's the restriction zone, pretty much, is the whole Baja. So
Exactly.
So that's why it's required for all foreigners to have the trust. But again, it's the safest way to own a property through the bank trust.
Yeah, and one of the things that we know by the numbers is that there's estimated 100,000 Americans living in the Baja, more or less. 90,000, 100,000. So most of them, have their trust. So that means that it's a vehicle has been used for a lot of years, and it works perfectly. Like you said, it's a myth when some people say that, you cannot buy and own in Baja.
Right.
Exactly. So now let's ask Mr. Craig Nelson that has a trust. Actually, he lives in Baja for the last, I don't know if you're going to tell us, Craig, but so you bought your house through a trust, right?
Yes, I bought my house through a trust back in the year 1990.
Oh my God!
I bought a bank trust for 30 years, and at one point in time, we renewed, all of us in the community, our bank trust for another 50 years. We did that in the year 2002. And I will be able to transfer that trust to my sons when I'm passed and gone, and they will be able to pass it along to their family too. So it basically goes on forever.
Oh, that's very interesting, Craig. And tell us your experience about being an American here in Baja. You've been here for 30 years, but you bought the house for 30 years. You've been now permanent resident for the last 12, 14 years.
Well, actually for 25 years.
25, my God.
25.
You look very young.
No, not anymore.
So how's been the experience of being 25 years in Baja?
Well, I really enjoy everything about Baja. It's kind of like living in San Diego, but at half the price. You're able to buy real estate at half the price. Everything is so much more inexpensive, but it's so much more of a relaxed place to live. You have a lot of Americans around you. For those who want to be around other Americans, you have the Baja Society. You can join the country clubs where the other Americans are. So for people who want a social life, you're just really over the border, not very far, and there are thousands of other Americans here. And the beauty of it here is very peaceful, but it's a third to a half the cost of living in California. So it's a great place to live.
That's excellent. And well, let's see what Mauricio. How do you see, Mauricio, the real estate market now in Baja? What do you see what's happening right now in Baja in the last years?
Well, what's been happening is that it's very right now it's a booming market again. We did have the crash because we actually had the crash for 2008 with the United States, because most of our customers in the coast, all the way from Playas de Tijuana to Ensenada, are Americans, whether ethnicity you want to call it, but they're basically Americans. So what's been happening for the last 4 or 5 years, it's that the market has regained a lot of impulse. We're doing, 30, 40 closes in all of the coast, not only on my company, but on other companies. So basically, the investment is very sound right now because it's actually growing value. What you can, I know of people that bought properties 2 years ago at $99,000, and the properties are worth now $129,000. In fact, in the building where I sell, we actually sold a unit for $200,000 in December, and then, I'm sorry, in last year, and then in December we sold one for $230,000. So basically, it's just when you're buying real estate, you also have to get the equity value of it. So it's basically, it needs to become a place where you want to live, but you don't want to lose money at the same time. So it is actually a great market right now. It's a market that it's booming. I think for myself, it's been a great year.
That's good. That's good. Well, Silvia, tell us, since you work with different lenders in Baja, there's quite a few lenders. What are the legal aspects that you check on the different properties? Just because I'm sure for the trust, they have to have different criteria to be able to be get a mortgage on the property or a trust.
Right. Well, the first thing that we need to check for, if you have an offer already and you accepted the offer, if you're selling, or if you're buying, your offer was accepted, the next step for sure is to check that that person that says that is the owner is really the owner. And by this I mean we need to check that in the recorder's office the name matches with your seller. That's the number one thing that I check as an attorney. Okay, is the seller really the one that has a right to sell that property to you? And then what we also check is that the property doesn't have any liens or encumbrances. We can also check that at the recorder's office for any loans or any private loans, any lawsuits that it may be attached to that property. So we have to make sure that the property is free of any liens. Then we collect from the city, from different departments, we collect the certificates, the seal that tells us that that property or that developer has paid everything, all the permits, that they don't owe anything to the city. In the urban development, the property taxes, the water company. The water company, as simple as it sounds, to get a certificate from them is actually sometimes a big amount that is owed to the water company. For that, you cannot issue title, you cannot get a credit. So those are the basic items that we check before we can move on to request a loan or to go through the creation of the trust.
Perfect. And the good thing is that once you've gone through all those processes, that means that you trust. If you get all the way to getting the trust, that means that all the property has been checked by the lawyers, like you, and by the lenders, and by the bank. So exactly. It makes it a very safe transaction.
Exactly. You have the fiduciary bank checking the property, making sure that everything is correct. You have the attorney checking the property is in order. You have the notary, who is the one that will formalize the public deed or the trust. So you have many sets of eyes checking the property, and you have to obtain the certificates of no liens, and you have to obtain every proof that the owner is who it is that is selling you the property. And with all that list, you can take those packages to the bank, to the notary, and to the lender, and have a very quick process on qualifying for the loan, and making sure that the property is ready to be sold, and then move on to the next step, which is taking title.
Oh, great. Excellent. Okay, let me get back to my friend Craig. I want to ask him a question that you mentioned, Craig, about the cost of living in Baja is being maybe a third or less than half at the cost of living in California. And you were telling me experience that you just had 2-3 days ago from your son that came to do a medical thing. Why don't you tell us about that? How much they save money on
Right.
coming to Baja?
Just last week, my son, who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, his girlfriend fell and broke her arm on the elbow. And she's 30 years old and doesn't have medical insurance. When she went into the different doctors in Nashville, they wanted to charge for the operation with all of the different things involved around $6,000 plus. And I, having some connections to doctors and family here, since I've been so many years down here, checked with a couple of doctors and was able to get her into a hospital here in Ensenada. And they performed the operation for $3,100, which was literally half of what it was going to cost in Nashville. She got it all done and is out of the hospital in 2 days. So that just happened this week.
Excellent. That's incredible. That's the opportunities that we have. And Mauricio, that you can see it when you get the clients coming down to see the properties. They know and they're looking for that savings, obviously on the real estate, but also on a lot of things they could get, they need, like, taking care of their home, maid services, gardening services.
Yeah, Roberto, let me cut in for a second and tell you how good it is from a perspective of what I used to pay up in the U.S. I can get a qualified mechanic to work on my car for $5 to $8 an hour. Up in San Diego, they want $200 an hour. I can get a worker to come, a qualified worker, construction worker, to come and work on my home all day for $35. Up in the U.S., it's $35 an hour. So these are just
incredible,
just amazing savings when you live here.
Exactly. What can you say about that, Mauricio?
Well, we're mostly 60 to 65% of the buyers in the coast, not only our company, but of all the coast, they are people making the transition into full retirement. So they're basically half-time residents. So what they're looking for is basically to have a good quality of life. And sometimes that is in affordability, because you actually want to have money in your pocket. And you actually summarize that between, like, okay, so I am going to live in a $220,000 condominium, which is 3 bedrooms and whatever, but this incredible ocean view. And I'm going to have quality of life because I'm going to go outside and look at this every day. And in the States, if for something that's $220,000, well, I'm not going to be able to get it. I know people prepare for their retirement, don't get me wrong. People actually make the choice because of quality of life, not just affordability, but the enjoyment of life. It's incredible, like in here, in Baja, on a condo for $200,000, you pay $75 tax. That's the property tax you're going to pay every year. So they look at it for that point, but they also look at the margaritas every weekend. They also look at all the benefits they get from helping the community. Because what I've seen in my years here is that it's incredible how you know that the American community or the retirees are more organized than the actual locals. They help orphanages, they help churches, they have for health, for kids. So they actually have a very, very full life here. But the part of the affordability is very important. Here they understand that they can actually eat lobster in the States 4 times a month, which is good. But here they can eat lobster 30 days of every month because of the affordability. It doesn't mean that they can't do it over there. It just means that they can do it more here.
Exactly. Well, I'm gonna put a video that you share with us that you sent me, Mauricio, And I'm going to ask, while we play the video, I'm going to ask Silvia to give us some examples on how lenders can lend you money in Baja. Since Silvia worked with some of the best lenders in Baja. And I'm going to start the video, Silvia, and you can talk about the different options that the lenders can lend money to buy in Baja.
Sure. Most of my clients also become investors. And that comes from purchasing the first house or condominium. And then a few years, they would like to upgrade to a bigger unit, or they saw another house that they fell in love with and they want to buy it. So they start by selling their home. Well, the foreigners also have the right, as you know, they can purchase a bigger home, or they can purchase a second home. And sometimes you don't have the 100% to purchase a second home. So we have found that here, HIR is one of the best lenders here because it's very simple. The process for qualifying is very simple. I mean, you can ask 3 questions and know immediately if you're able to qualify. And those is like, do you have a reliable source of income? Is your credit score 700? And do you have 40% of the purchase price to be able to put as a down payment? If you answer those 3 questions with a yes, you are pre-qualified, and then you can move to the next step and process your loan. It's 1 to 9 year loan. You can pay it off at any time with no penalties. So it's really making that third home, let's say, very possible to obtain. And that's an investment. So as a person that is retired, then you start looking of having an extra income. And that is, that is one opportunity that they have through a loan for Americans. You don't have to have history here in Mexico. You basically do or obtain your credit report from the States, and that is valid here. So a lot of my customers have 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and they are, they keep purchasing as an investment, and there are loans available for everybody, and they're able to live a better life with that extra income from their investment properties.
Excellent. That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Silvia. Mm-hmm. Mauricio, what can you tell us about some product, interesting product that our clients, our people that are watching this webinar could search with you at your firm?
Well, yeah. First, let me say something about what Silvia is saying about the credit. This is amazing, and we're so happy because that's why we understand that the sales have gone up, because 4 years ago, an American couldn't get a loan. So everybody had to do cash deals. So that actually narrowed the market for us. I mean, we did a lot of business, but now Americans are accustomed to financing. Even when they have the money in the bank, they like to do, because that's the way they're structured. So when this product with HIR, which is a very good product, and we know all of the banks, it came in, actually, they started doing a lot of sales, because a lot of people say, okay, this way I'll buy it. I'll only put 30%, 35% down, and then the rest I'll just pay along. So I wanted to say that has helped a lot the market. And what I don't know if Roberto can put another video on, and I mean, I am going to be a little bit selfish, and I'm just going to showcase my products, because basically I work in Baja. I think I work in the Pebble Beach of Mexico. It's one of the best kept secrets. A lot of people don't know it, but it's, I think, from my point of view, and I'm a Baja lover, I love all developments, and I love all my colleagues, and I love all developers, but I personally, I'm very, very, very happy to work in Baja. I think it's the best development in all of Baja. And here, basically, we have two two products that we're selling right now through our company, which is Gold Give ILA company. And this is actually the tower you get to see on the that tower right there. That is actually, we just painted it white so it looks even nicer. And we have units that are 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They're around 1,600 square feet. They have a big terrace, not a balcony, a big terrace where you can feed 10, 12 people, have a barbecue. But you have amazing views. We start that at $220,000. We do financing, and then we are starting a new project, which we already started with building. We have homes in individual lots there. The lot is around 1,500 square feet, and the home is somewhere around a little bit around 1,100 square feet. So 2-bedroom homes. Surrounded by they're surrounding a beautiful pool, and those started $159,000. So basically, we are trying to get to all of the income market in the States.
Perfect. Well, I think it's time to start wrapping this up. So I would ask the last just comment for Craig to tell us about his experiences being an American here in the Baja Coast. Craig?
Okay. I've really enjoyed it. One of the really fun things, of course, about being in Mexico is you're in another culture, and it's a lot of fun to learn the culture. I love the food, and I love that it's just kind of a getaway from all of the hustle and bustle and craziness and pressure of the United States. Living down here has been very relaxing. It's been just really a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable to travel down the coast, to go back and forth from Ensenada up to Rosarito. And it's been a very relaxing, comfortable life compared to the craziness of all those years up in the United States. So that's to me one of the great blessings. The other one, to let people know that's kind of a surprise, is here in Baja, we have most of the basic stores and access to the things that you would go to buy in the store that you would do up in the States. We have Walmarts, we have Office Depots, we have Costco's. We have all of these things in all of our little towns and cities. So you pretty much have access to everything you would need down here, just like in the States. And the prices are actually a little bit less than the States, even in those stores. So it's just been overall a great experience. I live on the beach, have a golf course right 5 minutes away, and it's a wonderful life.
You look like a very happy camper.
I am.
Well, Silvia, what your end remarks about for the potential buyers of in Baja? What can you tell them?
Well, I just would like to tell them, don't be afraid of buying in Mexico, because you have that figure of the fideicomiso that will, give you the rights as the owner of the property. The only difference is that the bank will hold title to the property. You will be the beneficiary of that trust, and the bank will act as the administrator of the trust. So you will own the property. You have all the rights to do everything as if you were the direct title holder, meaning you can sell, you can do improvements of the property, you can do pretty much everything as a Mexican national would. So don't be afraid of the word fideicomiso, because it's actually a protection for you. And many of foreigners have acquired property through the bank trust. The process is a simple process. It just requires a lot of documentation from the parties, and is, again, to protect you. They require IDs of the beneficiaries in second place, because anybody can come and say, oh, he left the property to me. Well, the bank is going to make sure that, The people that you name as secondary beneficiaries are the ones that are taking title after you pass. So it's another advantage. You don't have to go through probate because there is a clause in your contract that names your beneficiaries. The only thing they need to know is that for the trust, the administration of the trust, there is a charge, a yearly fee that you need to pay, which is right now from $450 to $580. So, but you have the benefit of the protection of that big entity, which is the bank, that they won't take risks. So the property for sure is in order when you purchase it.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Silvia. Mauricio, what can you say to wrap it up?
Well, just I think Silvia said it all. Just come enjoy. First, come down to Baja, stay for a day, take a look, and then I'm pretty sure you'll be in love. Making a transition is a hard thing. We understand. So what my invitation is for you guys to come down, enjoy Baja, and then start and start your process. Start your process. Get a broker if you can, or have where you go. Make sure that they have a licensed broker, that you are working with professional people. That helps a lot. Well, just hope to see you soon. I'm going to get the list for attendees, and I'm going to send an email with my 3 properties that we have for sale, and also Silvia's contact. She is great. She's well respected here, and so if you're making a transition, it doesn't matter if you're going to buy with us or not. If you're just going to purchase in Mexico, she's the way to go, and she has the money as well.
Well, that's great information that we share with our friends in the webinar. I want to thank Silvia for being with us. Thank you, Silvia. Craig, thank you for being with us. I know you're going to play golf right now, so please don't suffer that much.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah, make a lot of birdies. Mauricio, nice seeing you again, and keep selling a lot of properties in the corridor in Baja. And thank you very much, friends, for being live with us, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, for listening. Hope it was